Hello there, this is Dana Arcuri, author, speaker, survivor, advocate, and certified trauma recovery coach from DanaArcuri.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope everyone is doing well. If you are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any new content. And if you are returning, welcome back. It's awesome to have you here. Today's topic is a highly sensitive subject. We come from different backgrounds, we have different lifestyles, we have different belief systems and history and so forth. So what does it mean when someone reaps what they sow? And what does it mean when someone says karma's playing out? You know, the narc is getting their karma. So we're going to take a deep dive into that today. Honest, I think it's a very intriguing topic. I've thought about it for over 1 year. So let's get started. According to faithgiant.com, they say, every action has results. It's a natural law to harvest what we plant. As a general rule, we will have to face the ramifications of our actions. And I do believe that's true. So I'm going to go into full agreement on this one. My belief system is that, yes, we really do reap what we sow. We can't go through life thinking we could be like a narcissist, this cruel, vindictive bully who's an emotional vampire, who tramples all over people's boundaries, who disrespects people, who is extremely spiteful, hostile, and absolutely violent and hateful, and think that they get a free ticket in life and they get to have this awesome, wonderful, beautiful, positive experience on earth. No, that's not how life works in this world. So instead, let's talk about this. Reaping what we sow. The decisions we make in life will have the power to transform our lives for good or for negative, depending on our words, actions, behaviors, and decisions in life. So when we talk about like, hey, what's karma? According to wordnik.com, karma is fate or destiny resulting from one's previous actions. The video is not to debate about karma or reaping what you sow. It's not to have a religious or spiritual debate. That's not the point of this video. The point is for us to open our minds to become aware of the possibility that people in life, and this is people in general, so I'm not just talking about the narcissist or the flying monkeys, I'm also talking about us, every one of us. We will reap what we sow. And some people believe that that is karma. Other people believe, no, that is not karma. Again, let's respect each other's opinions, belief systems, and let's keep the comments going down below on what we personally experienced and what we think is what plays out for the narcissist. And it even could be with the flying monkeys. So as far as karma, I think there are some signs that we could see. Some could be very obvious and other signs could be a little bit more subtle. But if we do really examine, you know, what's going on in the life of a narcissist, especially after you went no contact, estranged, you might be in a situation of family estrangement with the whole family unit, or maybe it's only the narcissist. But the point is, there is a lot that happens afterwards, you know, the toll of narcissistic abuse. And so let's chat about some of the signs that the narcissist is reaping what they sow, and there's karma playing out right now. Number one, loss and grief. I believe that the overall theme of the narcissist, and I'm talking their whole life, is sorrow, grief, tragedies, and loss. They're very unhappy people, and they will make sure you know it. You know that saying, misery loves company? Oh yeah, they love being miserable and raining on your parade and making you miserable too. I think that's their karma. Their unhappiness just in and of itself is the narcissist's karma. Next. So the narcissist will have a lot of losses, a lot of grief, a lot of tragedies. So this is definitely going to impact their health. It could be their physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, etc., etc. It will impact their finances. They might have legal repercussions for the nastiness and the illegal crimes that they commit. Next is we can understand that, number two, Destroyed relationships. Another theme in the life of a covert narcissist is devastation. It's almost like this tsunami just ripping one by one, just ripping apart all the lives of anyone who's close to them or within their close circle, their family, their friends, their coworkers, their spouse, their partners, or boss, neighbors, community, family unit. The whole family is just totally destroyed and ripped apart. It really does remind me of a tsunami. And so that's a really interesting visual. Next is we can understand that the narcissist will destroy every one of the relationships. So this is part of triangulation of relationships. Okay, what is triangulation of relationships? It's when the narcissist will start talking and gossiping and spreading rumors about you to another person. So for example, the narcissist might be gossiping to your sibling about you, and they're basically trash talking you, talking smack on you, and then this other person, typically the flying monkey, who is your sibling, is in agreement. You know, the flying monkeys do the dirty work of the narcissist, and they always remain loyal to the narcissist. But the overarching message of this reaping what you sow, karma playing out with the narc, is that they're going to have destroyed relationships, and the end result is loneliness and isolation for the narc. Next is that after breaking all of the relationships, so now the relationships are dead. Most are dismantled, dysfunctional, very codependent, and most of the relationships just could not survive. And so we can understand this. If you have experienced narcissistic abuse, whether it was with a boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, his husband, wife, ex-spouse, whether it was your mother, your father, your siblings, or another person, you know that there are some deadly consequences, and it doesn't always end well. And we could say one thing though, as the survivors, you know, whether you are the black sheep of the family or the scapegoat, you will rise up above the ashes. You know, there is so much beauty in breaking free. Oh, the relief of breaking free from such toxic, abusive dynamics. However, as far as the narcissist, they're going to have some long-term consequences involved with destroying every one of their relationships, including with you. Number 3, there is a cause and effect of the narcissist's sinister motives. So they have very negative, hostile, evil intentions for you. And they will attack you at great lengths. They might bully you, stalk you, harass you, create smear campaigns against you on social media. And they may hoover you for a while and have a little love bombing going on. If it's like an intimate partner, you might have some love bombing. Yet actions always speak louder than words. So regardless of what the narc is claiming, it's a bunch of BS anyways, but we can understand that actions do speak louder than words. So when we look at the narcissist's actions, we can understand, oh, yes, everything's playing out. They are reaping what they sow. Oh, their lives are just awful. And this is their consequence. Next, this is interesting. We can understand that a narc cannot go through life hurting people, abusing people, and it could be financial abuse, it could be physical, mental, sexual. There's so many different kinds of abuse. So the narcissist is incapable of caring about you, but they are very much having these motives, very evil motives to hurt you. And so they can't go through life doing this and not suffering the consequences. One really inspiring quote, and it's by a website called narcissismfree.com, says, "Karma is in the consciousness. Whatever we put out into the world, and this is energetically, this is emotionally, and this is mentally, it will take root in our consciousness. It is reflected back to us in our outer reality." And so this is also something that the narcissist is so unaware. They don't self-reflect. They don't take personal ownership. And because of their lack of really having this consciousness and this awareness and empathy. They lack empathy. They lack compassion. They're not capable of genuine love. That's just the way they are built and wired. And we can understand that and know that because they are just so incapable of giving people tender, loving care, they themselves will have a very unhappy, sorrowful life. And so next is that the narcissist becomes bitter, not better. That's number 4. This one goes hand in hand actually with one of my YouTube videos about the narcissistic parent whose they're aging, they're elderly, they might be sickly. And as the narc ages, and especially if they're ill, if they don't have good health, it really, really is a very, very lethal environment. I personally experienced it with my narcissistic mother. So what happened was the last probably 5 years of her life, she spiraled downward, just a downward spiral where she totally went out of control. A lot of emotional meltdowns, a lot of mental health problems, a lot of physical problems, health problems, financial problems, relationship problems. No filter on her mouth, no filter. So the things that came out of her mouth were quite despicable. The whole fat shaming, the whole blame games, the whole Darvo. We talked about that last week. And so it's quite interesting watching this. So we could, from a distance, be observing how the narc's life is spiraling out of control. And so they don't become better through age, through sickness, through their long-term evil actions and motives. Their life crumbles apart, which brings me to number 5. So earlier this year, I was continuing my education, my knowledge, my awareness, and doing a lot more research on narcissistic personality disorder and everything involving narc abuse. And I was actually not surprised by what I found out. So what I discovered is that there are scientific studies that revealed those people who are diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder had been tested, and they were doing the survey. So it was the medical community, the scientific mental health community that was doing some real credible testing for these people. So say you take 100 people over here, they all have narcissistic personality disorder. Then you take a group of people over here, another 100. No, they don't have narcissistic personality. You do brain scans on both. And what was the result? The result was that those who were diagnosed with narcissistic personality have frontal lobe brain damage. In the information, it stated that they were born with narcissistic personality disorder. This was not something that, when they're 10 years old, when they're 20 years old, when they're 50 years old, that they suddenly get narcissistic personality disorder. No, it stated, you were born with it. So if this is really true, if this is really valid, and I did a lot of research, and there's so much, I couldn't believe how many medical studies are proving brain damage in the narc. And so based on what I found out, I believe that this brain damage, that is their own karma. That is their life playing out right now. Next brings me to number 6. They're ultimate addicts. So if we really examine behaviors, and remember, a lot of this is what's going on behind closed doors, things that the narc will not share with you. They will not reveal this because this is their dark side. This is the very dark side of the narc. So a lot of them, not all, but many, have addictions. And obviously addictions come in different forms. So the narcissist has so much pain in their life based on their own problems, their own sinister actions, their own gaslighting, manipulation, and ongoing abuse towards others, that the narc then wants to dull the pain. And because they're not aware, there's no conscious reality, they're not aware of their behaviors. They're not aware of what they're doing. It's almost like they live on another planet, like the Twilight Zone. And so what happens is, because they want to dull the pain, They might have depression. They might have anxiety. They might have loneliness and isolation. They might have a lot of self-hate. There's a lot of self-loathing, and some people think, oh no, the narc loves themselves. You know, I do believe the narc does love themselves because they're so egotistical and everything is about them being the center of attention. But on the same token, based on what I did see with my own narc mother, I think they're self-hatred and self-loathing. I think they're very destructive, and these addictions are going to show how self-destructive they truly are. So what's going to happen is they're going to self-medicate. It might be prescription drugs, it might be street drugs, or all of the above. They're going to get into possibly gambling, overspending, overshopping, eating disorders, binging, purging, porn addictions, sex addict, alcoholism, and various other types of addictions. And so their goal is to numb out and not feel, and to avoid taking accountability for their own words, actions, and behaviors. This leads me to, if you think that the narcissist will never get a taste of their own medicine, think again, because it is playing out. And whether we want to call it reaping what you sow, whether we want to call it karma, or we want to give it a totally different name, there are going to be the cause and effect. There will be repercussions for their bad behaviors, for their demonic ways. These emotional vampires are headed for disaster. So just being a narcissist in and of itself is reaping what they sow. It is their karma, and they're going to have a very lonely, bitter, hateful, negative, toxic, lethal life. And that's just the way it is. And so some people are like, well, no, it looks like the narc is doing really well. And, you know, I checked on them on Facebook, or I checked on them somewhere else, or I heard through the grapevine, that the narc is doing so wonderful. Oh my goodness, people, wake up. The narc will always try to act like everything's wonderful. They're going to fabricate lies. They are masters of manipulation. They will gaslight. They will make up a lot of fabricated stories that they're doing so great. They may say, I have this new partner, or I got married, or, I have all this wonderful life. I have a great job and I'm on vacation and all this great stuff is happening. A lot of it is just an exaggeration, or it's false. And they want you to think that their lives are great, but their lives are not. They're falling to pieces. What have you experienced? Did you observe the narcissist reaping what they sow? Do you believe that it is karma? What have you seen? What have you experienced? Share the comments down below. Let's keep it going. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you need help with narcissistic abuse recovery, you could connect with me at DanaArcuri.com. Thank you and have an awesome day.